Hello everyone and welcome to the 9th round of the FRL Asian Cup Championship. So we are here back at Rio for the penultimate round of the Season 2 Championship of the Formula Roblox League. So it's only 2 rounds to go. Shortly we're going to get quali underway. Time to get things started with the penultimate qualifying session of the season. Got to do one thing. Because one guy's trying to join. I'm going to try to help him try to join. We've only got a handful of people here, which isn't a great sight to see, but we'll get going anyway for this qualifying session. It's early in the morning for me. So, but I hope the commentary will still be good and up to scratch. Yesterday I wasn't able to commentate because I was not feeling too well, so I skipped commentary duty yesterday during the Division 2 race. But here we are again. Here I'm back in the commentary box for today's race. So we've got King Boss and Mark Takumi on track right now. Mark Takumi going very slowly on track right now as he's getting overtaken left, right and centre. It's one thing that's maybe worth mentioning about something that has changed regarding a Roblox update. Roblox has actually updated the vehicle cameras, their own vehicle cameras, so they're going to be a bit different, and that may catch some people off guard. It has caught some people off guard. From what I've heard, I've had people come to me about, hey, the cameras changed, what the heck. But yeah. So it's something that people are going to have to get used to, as it's going to be the new default camera system on the Roblox platform. Not sure why they changed it. My opinion, don't fix something that it wasn't broken to begin with. But anyway, they've done it. They had changed the camera, the vehicle cameras a couple of years ago, I remember as well, and it was also something that people had to get used to. So but yeah, here we are, qualifying underway. Everyone should still be on their outlap. We're watching King Boss. He's the first car on track right now, as he is going around the de facto final corner of this circuit to run up to the line and start his first flying lap of this qualifying session. Meanwhile, we've got another driver who has joined us for today. It's Noob in Disguise who has joined this session. He's one of the relatively new drivers who managed to get a main seat halfway through the season. He's driving for RAS FR team alongside our captain XX, who isn't here unfortunately. Let me see how many drivers were. Going to have to check something here. So I'm going to check to see how many people are supposed to. So I know one person is not showing up because he wants to play something else. Okay, fair enough. I've had one other driver who wasn't able to come. That's it. That's only 2 drivers. So we've got. Unfortunately, it seems like we've got well, 3 drivers. One driver is not able to join right now. He's having issues trying to join the server. So we've got 3 drivers who unfortunately have seemingly gone dead. They haven't been able to provide us a reason for no show, and they don't seem to be showing up. It's of course 7 minutes remaining in this session. They could still join. Hopefully, we'll be able to have more people towards the end of the session. Anyway, we're going to have to deal with 7 drivers right now. As King Boss is about to cross the line to set the first flying lap. It's a 1:39.3. Is Mark Takumi going to beat it? What's his teammate going to do? Wolf is going above it with over a second. He has managed to put in a 1:38.1. I believe the Division 2 pole time was a high 36 lap time, so it's a little bit off the Division 2 pole time, but that's okay. This is Division 3 Asia, it's a different division. Meanwhile, everyone seems to get their laps on the board. So we've got XR, who's in third right now, right behind, only 9 thousandths behind King Boss in second place. Our recently crowned champion of this championship. King Boss already having wrapped up the championship last time out. But meanwhile, what isn't wrapped up is the team's championship. With speaking of, we are looking. So the team's championship is between the yellow cars, the Scuderia Medulanum team driving the yellow cars from this race onwards, and the Fighters team who are driving the Zephyr. The Fighters unfortunately have one driver present, it seems, while Scuderia have 2 drivers here right now. I've got one more driver having just joined the session. That's good to see. We're up to 8 drivers now, as we've got 5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. But yeah, the team's championship fight is between Scuderia Medulanum, who are driving the yellow cars, who are currently sitting in 1-2 in qualifying, and the Fighters team, who unfortunately haven't had a good show last time out, only scoring 1 point. And they are 31 points back from the Scuderia. Meanwhile, Noop in Disguise goes up to second place. A great effort by him. But yeah, so Scuderia could wrap up the championship this round as well, and hopefully the Fighters will be able to put up some of a fight to really make their name work. Anyway, we're watching the only Fighters driver present right now in the session, about to complete his lap, but looking a little bit messy. The final couple of corners, not going to lie, doesn't look particularly optimal. Not sure if he's on flying lap right now. I think he is about to finish his second flying lap. That is not an improvement. Maybe that was just an out lap. I would guess so. Now he's on the flying lap, going through the first 2 turns. Let's have a look on board with XR right now, as he is going uphill, approaching the hairpin. A slightly more than 90-degree right-hander. It's a pretty fast high-speed corner in general, and then we've got a very technical session where you get very close to the wall. A left corner followed by a right-hander. Keeping it as not touching the walls. Oh, and that's his lap over. Anyway, we're looking at Alpha Jack, who is struggling right now. Then we've got Mark Takumi in second place. Who has got one? No, he got second place last time out, and the race before that. So Mark Takumi, who has only got 2 races, who has only done 2 races, has, I believe, scored the most points out of anyone in the last 2 races. But right now, he seems to be struggling, being almost 3 seconds off the pace. There's still time in this session, however. Let's stick on board with him, see if he can improve his lap time. You know, I hope more people will be able to join us in this session as well. I'll have to check something. Yep. So Alpha Jack is the reserve driver for the Scuderia Flam team, so the bright red team, driving alongside Lucas in this race. Mark Takumi crossed the line, does not improve his lap time. He may be starting his lap right now. Let's stick on board with him. Hello ARC Oscar, you can join the link via the link in the description. There should be a link to the Discord server in the description below. However, you are required to be 13 years or older in order to join the league, since that's the minimal age requirements in order to use Discord. So for anyone else listening who wants to get in, who thinks this looks like fun, there's a link in the description to the Discord server from where the league is run. Anyway, looking at with Mark Takumi, he isn't I don't think he's maximizing the car performance right now. This sequence is looking good, however. There's the last 2 corners. Now approaching the hairpin, downhill hairpin, using all the space disposure, slightly missing the apex, but not too much harm done. That's only like half a tenth gone or something, or maybe even less. It's not that significant. They're taking it a little bit easy through the swerving section right now, approaching the 180 degree hairpin. There's 2 notable hairpins on this track, the downhill hairpin and the hairpin. Let's distinguish those two by calling one hairpin the downhill hairpin and the other the hairpin. Let's do that. Alright, cool. So now we've got Mark Takumi going round the final corner, not counting the chicane. It's only a small hiccup for those drivers, easily flat for everyone driving. So Mark Takumi is about to cross the line, and he does improve to 6th place, but still quite far off the pace. And he's going to be carrying on for one extra lap. Let's see who else is on a lap right now. Meanwhile, Wolf has improved to a 137.8, has stretches leads around this track by another couple of tenths. Meanwhile, let's see if a noob in disguise can do anything about that. Seems to be on a decent lap so far. Go through the swervy section right now. Left followed by right, running a little bit wide. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Ooh, that might be a corner cut, not too sure. He is carrying on anyway. Let's see if Noob in Disguise can do it, and as the clock is ticking down right now, he's going to be the first one to cross the line and finish the session. Never mind, he has finished the session. Let's see who else is on the lap right now. We are looking aboard with his Wolfseer, who is currently on pole position right now, looking very strong to take home pole position for this race. Would this be his first pole position, I reckon? Let me check. No, he's debuting today, actually, my bad. He normally runs in a different division. So it's his first outing in this particular championship. And he does not improve his lap time. Meanwhile, let's have a look with Mark Takumi. Is he going to improve his lap time and move up a few places? Let's see as he's about to cross the line now. And he goes up to P3. What an improvement by Mark Takumi. That's a significant improvement. And that promotes him all the way up to 3rd place. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of more drivers. We've got 4 more drivers who are yet to cross the line. We're looking at Lucas Nuff, who should be the first of those couple of drivers. Oh, he hits the wall on the inside. That's not going to be a very good lap. Don't think he's going to improve, judging by that wall tap right there. Meanwhile, let's have a look at Papa John's a little bit further behind, followed by King Boss, our recently crowned champion in this championship. Papa John's does not improve. King Boss does improve to 2nd place. Did not really. Meanwhile, we have Alpha Jack in last place. He's going very slowly, so it looks like he is going to retire from the session soon as well. He goes into the pits. But yeah, it's a 1-2 for the Scuderia, and that's going to be really helpful for them wanting to wrap up the championship this round. So that is that's the qualifying sorted out. Meanwhile, we're going to go to the grid as the lights will soon be out for this penultimate round of the season. There's only 4 seconds remaining until the lights turn on. The lights are turning on now. Who's going to get away the West? Who's going to maintain? Who's going to come out on top after the first couple of corners after the first lap? And more crucially, who is going to win this race? We'll find out shortly. It's lights out, and where we go for the penultimate round of the season for the Asian Cup, guys. And everyone seems to be off to a clean start. I thought I saw a couple of guys slightly corner cutting. There's Papa Johnson at the back. He's had a pretty poor start right now, but meanwhile it's very close at the top between Wolfseer and Noob in Disguise, who wants to get ahead of Wolf and get a reception, because whoever gets ahead will be in clean air. Does not have to deal with dirty air, because this track is quite harsh with the dirty air. This is probably along with Loodwijk, this is probably one of the toughest track to follow other cars on because of the dirty air. There's a lot of corners around this track, and dirty air is certainly going to be doing a lot of damage as XR runs very wide, coming out of the right-hander. Meanwhile, Wolf seems to be able to maintain the lead. Noob in Disguise running a bit wide there, coming under pressure from XR, just behind XR, trying to get past. Noob in Disguise getting the better exit, but there's another corner coming up shortly, namely the downhill hairpin. This guy's taking the corner very nicely, hitting the apex. XR going a bit wide, allowing Noob in the Sky to get back past into third place. Mark Takumi is following closely behind in fourth place. Iswolf here seems to have a small breakaway already with a 1.5 second lead, so he's looking very strong in these early stages of the race. Noob in the Skies looking at taking a very nice line through the hairpin, everyone being relatively close together. Unfortunately, Papa John's falling quite far back, it seems, in this early stage of the race. Hopefully he can recover. Meanwhile, we're still watching this battle for second place unfold between XR33N and Noob in the Skies 98. As they cross the line to finish the first lap of this race, of this 25 lap race, is going to be one of the longer races in this season. It's a quite slow track. They're going to have to cover the same distance as any other track on this calendar, more or less, and this is a very slow track compared to other tracks, low average speed, so that means this is going to be the longest race of the season, alongside the race at this circuit we had earlier this season, because it's the second time we're visiting this circuit. We have visited this circuit for round 3, I want to say. No, for round 4 we visited this track already, as Noob in the Sky is running very wide, allowing XR33N to get back past again, and King Boss really struggling in this race, I must say. For he has really been a class of his own in most races this season, especially in the first half of the season, where he got 3 wins in the first 4 races of the season. He won last race as well. Has had a few dips a few rounds earlier, round 6 and round 7, where he only managed to get 4th place twice. And he seems to be in a similar position again, being down in 5th place in this race. And Noob in the Sky is running a bit wide out of the hairpin. That's going to slow him down a little bit, which is going to allow XR to close in. XR looking to get past. Noob in the Skies, XR going very wide, so does Noob in the Skies, but they're still going strong right now. Meanwhile, Wolfish has shot off into the distance. He has got a breakaway right now of 3.5 seconds after just 2 laps, so Wolf seems to be the superior driver today around here, and he's looking really strong to take home the win. And that's going to be great news for the Squiridium Medulanum team, for whom Wolf is making his debut for, as they are looking to wrap up the team's championship this round if they keep up a result like this. You are looking a bit further back. Let's have a look at the second Scuderia driver, our recently crowned champion, King Bots. He's struggling in 5th place right now, trying to chase down cars ahead. It looks like XR has fallen back a little bit, and it's now under pressure from Mark Takumi and King Bots a little bit further behind. Noob in the Skies has therefore secured 2nd place for the time being, having a 1.5 second lead over the next car behind. Looks like King Boss is struggling to keep up with Mark in front, and might fall under pressure from Lucas, who isn't that far behind either. Mark Takumi is, however, looking to put XR33N under pressure for 3rd place. Meanwhile, Noob in the Sky is trying to run away in 2nd place, and Wolf is absolutely gone right now. Let's have a look on board with Mark Takumi as he's chasing down XR up ahead, going through the first corner. You're going to have a little bit of dirt yet to deal with. It's a very tricky corner to get right, might I add. But yes, Mark Takumi trying to keep up with the cars ahead. Noob in the Sky is not too far ahead either. He may have made some more mistake, as this is now really turning into a battle for 2nd place now. Mark Takumi, you can see a little bit of understeer, slightly hitting the wall, so does XR. Now they're going through each other, trying to take over 3rd place and being the main man to chase down that RAS FR car up ahead. XR seems to have a firm grip on 3rd place for now, but here comes Mark Takumi again, taking a little bit tighter lines right now, missing the apex of the 2nd corner, and that allows King Boss to close up again. So places 2 through 5, really closing up right now. So everyone really bunching up, it seems, in this particular race. And it's good to see around this track, around the track that is pretty tough to follow, as King Boss tries to have a look up the inside of Mark, but that doesn't work because Mark is taking the better line, taking the apex, and therefore getting a much better run out of the hairpin. And once again, King Boss carrying more speed through the corner. This time it seems to work out for him as he's now past Mark Takumi and up into 4th place, and now trying to put pressure on XR just a little bit further ahead. Let's see how they go through the first chicane. Ooh, they both keep within track limits. King Boss just about slightly missed the apex through turn 1. Hits the apex very nicely in turn 2. Both braking just past the 100 meter vault for the right hander. And King Boss carrying a little bit more speed through the hairpin and trying to find his way past XR right now. Surely he's ahead on his screen now. It's only a matter of time to see who of those are going to be further ahead of him. None of them seems to be having dirty air issues right now, as they are too close for that on our screens. XR falling a little bit behind now, so now he should be behind King Boss, starting to feel the dirty air now, and that's going to put him under a lot of pressure from Mark Takumi just behind. Mark Takumi getting past as well now. King Boss now up into 3rd place, making a slow recovery after a disappointing qualifying from him. And now it's up to King Boss to chase down Noob in Disguise, who's still... Oh, that's a mistake from King. That's a corner cut right there, and that has slowed him down quite a bit, and that allows XR to get back past. And that's XR back up to in 3rd place, and that allows Noob in Disguise to get away in 2nd place for a little bit longer. So nice brief for there, but they go very wide. They all go very wide, actually, out of the hairpin. And King Boss still fighting with XR. Noob in Disguise having a really poor exit out of the hairpin. And that's Mark going very wide. That's a huge mistake for Mark Takumi. He went very wide, and then the off track, you get a lot of understeer when you go off track, and that has really cost him, and that has basically lost him 3rd place for now, or at least a chance at 3rd place. So he has got a lot of time to make up. He lost like 4 seconds, but by making that mistake. And now look at this, we've got a battle going on for 2nd place between 3 drivers, being pretty much inseparable right now. Very close up between the 3 drivers. Let's see who's going to come out of top. XR now has to deal with a little bit of dirty air, so does King Boss. He hits the wall on exit. XR closing in again. XR running. Oh, that's a big mistake from XR, running wide, getting the understeer by going wide. In Disguise once again going very wide out of the right hander. Not exactly what you want to see. So it's now King Boss right behind Noob in Disguise, so looking to make the 1-2 for the Scuderia Mediolanum team. Now approaching the downhill hairpin. King Boss braking later, but Noob in Disguise getting the better exit out of the 2. They're still very close to track, pretty much inseparable still. Noob in Disguise now slightly ahead. I think King is too close to get slipstream or dirty air, so he must be barely ahead in his screen right now, I reckon. So they're going to be very close as they are approaching the final couple of corners on this track. This guy's taking a tighter line than King Boss. King Boss, however, carrying a little bit more speed to the corner, and that allows him to sneak ahead by a very small margin. And that's King Boss crossing the line, barely in 2nd place right now. Is he going to hang on to that 2nd place? Let's see how they take the first couple of corners. King Boss just within track limits. I thought for a second he corner cut there, but Noob in Disguise carrying more speed through the first chicane, getting past King Boss. At least now screen's back again. They're pretty much inseparable, and that's a wall tap from Noob in Disguise. That's going to compromise his exit. He's still very much there, however, he just has to nail the next couple of corners if he wants to get back past. That's another wall tap, and that's going to place King Boss firmly into 2nd place now. With I'm pretty sure Noob in Disguise is going to see the yellow car ahead of him now on his screen, as well as due to visual lag. But yes, King Boss has made a 1-2 for the team right now, and the Scuderia are looking to wrap up the team's championship if they are able to finish in this position with scoring maximum points. Or at least close to maximum points. They're not going to be able to score maximum points as King Boss missed out on the one qualifying point. Was now has broken away in second place now. See how he's going to get on this race. He has had a really slow start. I get the impression that he hasn't practiced a lot for this race. I've got a feeling that that's the case as we've got the first car in the pits right now. That is Noob in Disguise coming into the pits to do a quite early first pit stop, might I add. Only after 7 laps making his first pit box out of 2, I presume. Because a 2-stop would be the optimal strategy around this particular track. He's presumably going to come out just behind Papa John, so I reckon not just ahead, maybe. I think just ahead. It's going to be very close between the two as Noob comes back out in the pits and just behind Papa John's, who is yet to make his pit stop. Meanwhile, looking towards the front, it looks like everyone has spread out for now. XR once again running very wide out of the right-hander. Kind of not bothering to brake for it and get a proper run through it. Seemingly finding it easier to just run out wide and take the penalty you get for running wide by having his car a little bit slowed down. Seems to be doing a lot around a lot of corners actually, running wide and making himself lose a little bit of time in the process. But it seems to work for him in this race. It looks a little bit weird, of course, but it is what it is. Meanwhile, we are going to look on board with Mark Takumi for a moment. It's a new team, Spectre Racing being a really relatively new team. Unfortunately, his teammate wasn't able to join. So that's going to rob the Spectre Racing team of a very good opportunity to try to climb up to 3rd place in the standings. They've only done 2 races compared to other teams who have done 8 races so far, and they have been able to climb themselves up into 4th place after a 1-2 on their debut, scoring 28 points in their first outing, and then following that up by another solid race where they were able to score another 18 points, which have put them just barely in 4th place, just ahead of Scuderia Flam and just in the red cars, and just behind the Default Racing in the grey cars. Default Racing having only Papa John's driving for them right now in today's race, and Scuderia Flam having 2 drivers present right now, who are Lucas Nov and Alpha Wheeljack, who is finding himself really far off the pace, who is really struggling in this race so far. It looks like Papa John's has made his first pit stop, looking at the jet and looking where he is on track right now. He has also come in the pits now, and that is our race leader, Wolf, in the pits, and he's missed the pit box. That's going to cost him a lot of time. He has a really good lead, however, so I don't think it's going to cost him the lead, but that's certainly going to cost him a couple of seconds. He really missed the pit box there, braking too late for his pit box, it seems. Now coming back out of the pits, he's going to rejoin in 3rd place right now with the cars ahead yet to pit in this race. Noob in Disguise yet to pit, however, and he is only 3 seconds back, so it's not looking good for Wolf right now, because Noob in Disguise was like 15 seconds behind or something. He was quite far behind. Actually, more like 12 seconds, and that gap is now down to just 3 to 4 seconds. So it looks like Wolf has lost even more time than that. He's probably lost like 6 or 7 seconds due to his pit stop error, and another 2 due to the undercut, due to the fact that Noob in Disguise has made a pit stop at an earlier time. And you're going to be able to see here, Wolf being on newer tyres and Mark Takumi on older tyres. You can see the difference between the two cars, with Wolf being on new tyres and Takumi still going around on old tyres. There's a massive difference, as Mark Takumi really has to deal with understeer compared to Wolf, who's be able to just tiptoe past him quite easily, quite effortless on significantly newer tyres. So that promotes Wolf, and that's, I believe, King Boss in the pits right now to make his first pit stop of this race after 10 laps of racing. Let's see if he's able to break in time for his pit box. So has to go in reverse a little bit. That's still a good pit stop nonetheless. Significantly better than his teammate, who has already gone past him. Nope, in Disguise goes up into third place, showing the power of the undercut, because King Boss was previously in second place, and now is finding himself quite far behind Noob in Disguise with a who has done a pretty early pit stop in this race. Being on 2 to 3 laps older tyres right now, so he's going to start to notice his tyres dropping off shortly, I reckon, compared to the likes of Wolf and especially King Boss, who are on much newer tyres. But this guy's closing in on Mark Takumi, who is yet to make his pit stop. That's going to be this guy's getting past Mark Takumi. Mark Takumi looking to make a pit stop shortly as well, or is he trying to go for a one stop? That's also possible. That means you have to pit after 12 or 13 laps into this race. It's not too far away from that right now. He's going along in his first stint, certainly, so he may as well be on a one stop right now. It's going to be interesting to see, as always, how that's going to work out for him. And we've got our first retirement of the race. That's Papa John's leaving the race. He was struggling in this race, so I assume it is a rage quit for him, I guess, right there. But we still got plenty of drivers left right now, as we can see King Boss closing in on Noob in Disguise, as Mark Takumi is coming into the pits now to make his first pit box. He's gone long on his first stint, may try to do a one stop, but that would mean a very long second stint, which I don't really see him do. I think the tires and the tire got too bad, and he is, and I think he's going to a two stop in this race. I think he was on his tires for too long, and don't think he was going to make that one stop work. So that now Alpha Wheeljack has been promoted up to 7th place after Papa John's has retired from the race. End this race quite early. Meanwhile, looking further ahead, we've got Lucas Knopf in 4th place, trying to chase down King Boss, who himself is trying to chase down Noob in Disguise, who's a little bit further up the road. Let's have a look at what with King Boss, who is on 2 laps, at least 2. His tyres are at least 2 laps fresher than Noob's tyres are. That's not a very nice line from King Boss right there. That costs him a little bit of time. Ooh, that's not nasty wall hit from Noob in Disguise. Right there, hitting the inside of the wall, it seems like, and that's going to put him under a lot of pressure from King Boss behind. I think King Boss is going to be able to get past Noob in Disguise here for second place, seeing that he is on newer tyres. King Boss now going past Noob in Disguise. Let's see if he can stay ahead. And I think he does. He does get ahead of Noob in Disguise. And that's King Boss back up into second place, and now it's up to him to maybe try to chase down his teammate. Or if that's going to be a big ask, as Wolf has had a lot of pace all weekend, or since qualifying. And from the early stage of the race, we've seen that Wolf is the quickest driver today in this particular race. So it's going to be a major ask from King Boss, but I think he'll be able to. He will be content with second place as well, considering he is already champion. He has nothing to lose except maybe the team's championship, but Wolf is already doing a solid job in that regard. So it looks super likely that the Scuderia Mendudano team, the Yellow Cars, are going to be wrapping up the team's championship this round. I think we may have a battle going on. No, that's Lucas pitting. Is that his first stop in this race, actually, or his second? I'm not too sure. I'm inclined to say that that was only his first pit stop, that he's trying to do a one-stop in this race. Yes, I kind of agree that Wolf should be in Division 2 going forward. He wanted to race in Division 3. I let him, but seems like he's a little bit too good for Division 3, isn't he? At least in this particular championship, he seems to be too good. SGG is asking, how did Wolf lose 8 seconds in this race? He made a mistake coming into the pit box. He broke too late for his pit box and had to reverse back into the pit box. That combined with Noob in Disguise pitting earlier at the time caused Wolf to lose 6 seconds effectively from making his mistake in the pit box by braking too late and having to reverse. And another 2 seconds because Noob in Disguise was on newer tyres for 2 laps while Wolf was driving around on old tyres. Meanwhile, it doesn't look we've got any battles on track right now. It's all plain sailing right here. With XR33N in 4th place and Noob in Disguise making his second pit stop. That's an early second pit stop. Noob in Disguise in the pits to make an early second pit stop. There we go. Having done an early first pit stop and now doing an early second pit stop. Let's see where he is going to come out on track. I think he's going to come out just behind Lucas. Nope, wrong. That's Alpha Jack first of all, and he's going to come out way ahead of him. And that's Alpha Jack in the wall. Is he stuck? No, he gets going away and is about to get lapped by his teammate. Noob in the Skies on new tyres, so let's have a look on board with him. Let's have a look at how he fares on new tyres. Looking good so far, keeping it within track limits, as he is presumably going to be chasing down Mark Takumi right now, who is in 4th place for the time being. Noob in the Skies was in 3rd position before making his second pit stop, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to climb up back to that position as the race goes on. Update on the race. There's no real update because we are still waiting for people to come into the pit lane to make their second pit stops, except for Lucas, who I think is on a 1 stop in this race. Alpha Jack is going to retire from this race by the looks of it, having really struggled throughout this race. Looking towards the front, we've got Mark Takumi still in 3rd place, with whom we are still on board with. Still on board with Mark Takumi, he is in 3rd place. He's being chased down by Noob in the Skies, however, who is closing in and said he's already made his second pit stop. All the cars ahead of Noob in the Skies are yet to make their second pit stop, but when they do, they're going to be on newer tyres compared to Noob in the Skies. So right now he has quite the advantage over all other cars, but once everyone has come into the pits, that advantage will be gone, and then from that point onwards he's going to be at a disadvantage. But right now I think Noob in the Skies, just like after the first round of pit stops, I think he's going to be fighting King Boss for 2nd place. He might be able to get ahead of King Boss once King Boss comes to the pits, and that is our race leader Wolf in the pits right now. Looks like as he's already moving out of the pit lane, looks like he has done his pit stop correctly this time. Let's see, he's going to come out in 2nd place, only behind his teammate, with Noob in the Skies quite far behind still, and Mark Takumi, who is obviously yet to make his pit stop. They might be going long actually. may actually be stretching the tires to one stop because most drivers seem to be stretching their second stint. So they're either switching to a one stop or they are going to pit after this lap, which would be more realistic. In this guys, we can see him close in on Mark Takumi. I think Mark may come into the pits at the end of this lap, or he could be carrying on. He could do that. XR is quite far behind still. I think XR is being chased down by Lucas, who is closing in on the fighter car ahead of him. So there could be a battle forming, storm brewing for 5th place. Going to have to wait to see how that's going to happen. Meanwhile, King Boss is staying out for another lap, so he may be going on the one stop right now. What's Mark Takumi going to do? Is he going to make a second pit stop? No, he isn't. He's also staying out. Interesting. So it seems like everyone, Mark and King Boss, looks like those two guys have converted to one stop. I think King Boss is playing with fire here, because if we were pit now, I think he'd be a couple of seconds behind Noob, but he would be on much newer tires, and right now he is staying out, and I think we're going to have to keep an eye on the gap between Noob in Disguise and King Boss, because of course tires of Noob in Disguise will also be going off at the current rate. He's having to deal with some dirty air right now, trying to close in on Mark Takumi, so that's going to be something he has to overcome first. I'm trying to look on the minimap, looking if anyone else is coming into the pits. Doesn't look like it for the time being. Mark Takumi running a bit wide, missing the apex quite a bit through the hairpin. You can see Noob in Disguise inching closer and closer to Mark ahead, and it's going to be a matter of time, I presume, and that's someone in the pits. That's King Boss in the pits for his second pit stop. That's a pretty late pit stop for King Boss, but it's going to be interesting between him and Noob in Disguise. He's already making his way out of the pit lane, so Noob in Disguise is about to cross the line, and I think King Boss is going to be just behind the Spectre and the Ras cars, and yes he is. He's going to be just behind, but he's going to be on much fresher tyres than both of them. Noob in Disguise being on, I think, 4 lap old tyres by now, while King Boss is on very new tyres. Noob in Disguise has now gone past. Oh, that's a mistake from King. That he hit the wall, and that's going to make things difficult for him. I still think he's going to be able to get past Noob in Disguise, but that has made things more difficult for him. That has cost him 2 seconds, I reckon, making that mistake, hitting the wall on the inside a little bit too much. And that's another mistake from King. What's going on? That's 2 mistakes from him. All new tyres. Not sure what's going on with him there, but that's 2 mistakes in just a couple of corners. I hope he can get it together now, because he will have to if he wants to get past Noob in Disguise, who may have made a mistake as well, because he's back behind Mark. I thought he was past Mark just a moment ago. He's back behind. So interesting. That's really weird to see. So both Noob and King Boss making mistakes, and Mark Takumi for now seemingly having getting back up into second place. He is on very old tyres, having pitted around lap 12. So he's now going to be struggling on those old tyres. Noob in Disguise and especially King Boss being on much newer tyres. I think Lucas may have made a second pit stop. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think Lucas has made a second pit stop, so that has put him pretty much out of contention for P5 in this race. Meanwhile, we've got battle going on for P2. Noob in Disguise trying to get back past Mark for second place. Mark's trying to hang on, but it's going to be very difficult on his very old tyres. Yes, and you can see the difference in grip between Noob in Disguise and Mark as Noob in Disguise now starts to get ahead. So does King Boss swooping past Mark Takumi here, and I think that's going to be game over for Mark Takumi. He might have to worry about XR, but I think XR is also only done one pit stop. Let's have a quick look and report with him. Yeah, it does look like he's on all tires, judging by the understeer. So right now we've got a battle for second place between King Boss and Noob. King Boss should have a significant advantage being on significantly newer tires compared to Noob's. 3 to 4 lap. His tires are 3 to 4 laps younger. King's tires are compared to the tires of Noob in Disguise. So and he's now ahead and should have second place in the back. With just a handful of laps to go in this Rio race. King Boss has just snapped Alpha Wheeljack for a second time in this race. Meanwhile, we see Mark Takumi trying to stick with Noob in Disguise, but it's going to be very difficult. Pretty much impossible for him on his older tires. You can see Noob in Disguise breaking away from Mark now. Actually, XR's not that far behind. I'm not sure how he's doing pace-wise, but I believe he was also in the one stop. Not so sure. Judging by his honesty, I think he is. Tagumi's still doing a decent job, trying to hang on, trying to stick with the Disguise. Surprisingly, King Boss has broken away from Noob in Disguise. He is comfortably in second place now with his teammate all the way in first place, 18 seconds ahead. 2 laps to go in this race. Mark Takumi just has to, I think Mark Takumi is going to have to settle for 4th place in this race. XR is quite far behind. So all Mark has to do is just keep the car on the road, don't make any significant mistakes, and he should be good for 4th place. Iswolfsee has started the final lap of this race. Obviously, having done an amazing race today, flawless. Apart from one crucial pit mistake, but he has clearly had the pace over all other cars, and is going to be very likely that he's going to win today's race. A very good job by him, great effort, and doing a great job for the team as well. I'm pretty sure that Scuderia Mediolanum is going to be the team is going to be the team's champion. They're going to win the championship. They have a 31 point. They've had a 30-point lead coming into this race compared to the Phaeton 2. They're going to score a lot more than that team. So I'm pretty certain that's going to be championship done and dusted, as Wolf has 2 more corners to go. Coming up to the chicane now. As he's soon going to see the checker flag to take home the win in this penultimate round of the race. He's slowing down as he crosses the line. It's going to be a win for his Wolves here, and it's going to be a championship secured for Scuderia Mediolanum in the Asian Cup Division 3 Championship. That's King Boss who makes the 1-2 for the Scuderia team. And looks just going to cross the line. The last car to cross the line, and that's going to be race done and dusted. Okay, that's the race done and dusted. That was the 9th round of the Asian Cup. Thank you all for watching this race, and we'll see you next week for the final couple of races at Kalima.